very similar to
Rain.
to using it, you know, sheets of rain coming down that way. That can be, you know, used to present rain as well. Birds, you become the bird actually.
Mm.
That sort of thing. This can also be symbolic of that sort of bird-like thing that's happening. What's another thing that might be? I mean, actually, if you're talking about butterflies or something like that, I mean, if it's using it that way. Oftentimes, they may actually put two fountains together. Sorry, I didn't bring a second fountain.
Oh, it's okay.
But it's sort of like, so I'm holding on to two fans at once, so I've got them this way and doing that sort of thing with it. So you've got this thing where they're doing that sort of thing. What else?
Is there anything to represent demons? You know, you did the opposite side of fighting the demon. Is there any demon characteristics or?
Well, the demons usually fight with basically what is a very stylized sort of thing that's supposed to represent like a hammer or a mallet.
Mm.
So this sort of striking at someone like that is oftentimes used. I mean, there are subtler things where if I'm really a demon in disguise, I might very stealthily put my fan up like this to represent a horn that's coming. Okay. This is usually used, especially used when someone's disguised themselves as a human being or something. There might be a moment where you'll see that, but it really has more to do with the sharper movement of the person. Demons don't usually fight with, don't usually use a fan, because as I say, if you're really doing a fully costume thing, they've got that mallet that they strike with. And it's really about their movements being more jerky, bigger sort of thing. Again, it's a sort of animal-like quality. Anytime that you're playing an animal, kabuki stage, you'll see the actor generally, there's that feeling of the head being more jerky, I think, than simply the human being sort of thing. So it's the animal following things. I mean, they're so it's almost like my attention span, I'm following things that are right in front of me. I mean, it's like a cat, you know, following things around, or that sort of thing.
I know, as far as Richard went, we talked a little bit about the spider and what the spider represents. Is there anything specific movement-wise to something that would be spider-like?
Spider-like. Anytime you're talking about an animal, we start getting into more of the positioning of the body thing. I mean, this idea of instead of being hands, you've got paws instead of something like that. For an insect-like thing, I would say it's more like that sort of thing. I mean, you know, the walk changes, the body shape changes a little bit.
Any particular way to attack? Or, well, speaking of, going through some of the more animal-like things, is there any specific way to attack or sneak up on something? Is there a difference between like a faster or a slower type of movement?
Well, if someone's trying to sneak up on someone, and there are variations of things, yeah. Okay, where the animal is freezing. this actually blends into more human-like things. I mean, if I'm trying to sneak up on someone as a human being, I might be. That sort of thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Primary distinction is not only is it a more legato movement, but you have your hands, your fingers are.
And the attention is where you're going to.
Yeah.
If I'm
Not
doing
Oliver. Okay. Great. Cherry blossoms, anything to do with cherry blossoms? Anything traditional in that realm?
a lot of the time, I mean, if it's about,
Wind and,
you know, sort of falling, going back to this again, falling of the blossoms. You could put in this sort of thing going into things. This could also be symbolic of perhaps wind or water flowing too, depending on how it's used. What other things? Yeah, cherry blossoms. I mean, it's again, I would say it's more the idea of something falling. This sort of thing is oftentimes used for it because it's the petals falling off the tree sort of thing. And they may actually throw the fan sometimes too. Okay.
yeah.
Because the fan will sail. I mean, it's got this thing, right? So that's oftentimes something that will. Okay. So again,
Yeah.
it spins in the air.
Anything, you did the dragon earlier, you know, the dragon going through the air. Any other dragon?
Again, you could probably do this with two fans too, form the head. Of the dragon sort of thing.
Anything to represent kites?
Kites, well, that's usually mimed more of the of controlling the string sort of thing. So again, the fan might be held in one hand here. It could be that you might add that kind of movement to something. All right, if you wanted to figuratively be talking about a kite. Okay, so it's just using the fan to represent the kite, but then the former is actually providing the. And again, depending on how many fans you got, again, this idea of using a double fan. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Stop for a sec.